And right now, all the experts are predicting that Republicans will win a majority in the Senate. But what if everybody's got it wrong? My next guest says they do. Sam Wang is a Princeton University professor and the founder of the Princeton Election Consortium. Now, this guy's got a phenomenal track record. Back in 2012, he beat all the so-called experts, including Nate Silver, the guru of predictors. He called the presidential race correctly in 49 of 50 states. He also had a perfect record for the close Senate seats. Sam Wang went 10 for 10 and missed only a couple of seats in the House. Sam Wang predicts the Democrats will retain control of the Senate, and he joins me now. Dr. Wang, we visited your website. I want to put up on the screen what's currently posted at your site and ask you to explain.
Okay.
Because you, sir, are saying
Sure.
that the probability of Democratic control remaining in the hands of Democrats and independents on Election Day is 70%. What are you seeing that everyone else is not?
That's right. Well, I should first say that 70% is not 100%, but let me just describe what we do there. For the last elections going back to 2004, when I started analyzing this stuff at election.princeton.edu, what we've found is that polls are a very good snapshot of current conditions at any given moment in the race, and polls converge on the election day outcome. And so what you're looking at there is the probability of all the state races that are close, including the ones that are not so close, and I turn those into a statistical snapshot of where the race is on any given day. And what the number you just came up with is a forecast based on what those polls have been doing all summer of that number landing on Democrats and independents having 50 seats or more on Election Day. And so based on what we've been seeing all summer, the polls have been pointing towards a very close contest. Everybody should vote, but indicating that Democrats and independents are favored.
We should make clear, you're a neuroscientist. You're an aggregator
Yes.
in this respect. You are not doing original polling. You're looking at a whole host of other people's data. How do you protect against garbage in, garbage out? For example, do you exclude pollsters from your survey research that have a bad track record?
Right. The way I would put it is that as a laboratory neuroscientist, I'm always having to deal with data points that might be a little bit off one by one. And the key is to aggregate them in some kind of statistically neutral way where all the data points have a say. Since 2004, our observation at the Princeton Election Consortium is that even though an individual pollster might be a little bit off, as a community, those guys, those men and women, are very good at what they do. And as a community, they have this wisdom of crowds where they can converge on the right answer. And what that means is that all polls are welcome in this, and using statistical methods to not give too much weight to outlier polls. Democratic pollsters can get in, Republican pollsters, neutral pollsters, everybody gets in, and perhaps surprisingly, that leads to a very good predictive tool.
Dr. Wang, I've been following you via social media. It seems like there's a little trash talking going on between Nate Silver and you.
Yeah, it's sort of fun, but I want to make sure that stays on the math and stays on the substance. And you are right that there's a little bit of a tiff going on right now.
So I watched that Netflix documentary about the Romney campaign. I think it's called Mitt. It was tremendous. And something that I took away for our purposes is the fact that the Romney folks seemed stunned on election night. So my question for you, Dr. Wang, is there a tendency among pollsters to tell their clients what they want to hear?
Well, I think if you're an individual pollster, it is true that you should please your client. One thing that pollsters can do is boost the spirits of the campaign they're working for. And so it would not be surprising for a campaign to nudge numbers just a little bit, just put a little finger on the scale towards the candidate they're working for to get them to run harder, work harder. This finger on the scale can happen with individual pollsters. And if you look at what happened with the Romney campaign, I think it's a distinct possibility is that Mitt Romney was led to believe something that was a little bit off from what really happened.
Finally, what I'm hearing from you, Dr. Wang, is this is not a wave. This is, at best, a ripple year. Is that fair to say?
I think in the Senate that's true. I think these mainstream media sites like 538 and the New York Times, they came into this campaign thinking that it was going to be a better year for the Republicans, and their computer models put a little finger on the scale. But if you look at actual conditions on the ground right now in terms of polling in the Senate, the Democrats are currently performing better than expectations. I do think it's true that the Republicans are likely to pick up seats in the House, but it's not going to be a massive wave like in 2010.
Dr. Sam Wang, thanks so much for being here.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
your time.